Hello everyone, my name is Not Retro. I'm here to play Outer Wilds. A couple of my friends requested me to play and record this game, and I figured out, why not try a YouTube series while I'm at it. I'm going into this completely blind. I did look over some options, and then to figure out for some recording reasons, but otherwise, I don't know anything about this game. Push E to wake up. Okay. Interesting. So immediately off, we have it kind of looks like Jewel from Kerbal Space Program. A blue thing shooting from what looks like a spaceship. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, this man has 4 eyes. There's our pilot, back from a pre-launch campout under the stars, I see. So it's launch day. Seems only like yesterday you joined the space program, and suddenly here you are, leaving on your first solo voyage. What do you say, ready to get this beauty off the ground? It's all fueled up and ready to go. Are you sure you fixed the retro rockets? That was only a problem one time, and then maybe a few times after that. But hey, no reason to dwell on the past, right? Anyway, you'll need to get the launch code from Hornfels at the Observatory before you lift off. Just bring those here once you said your goodbyes or whatever. Okay, your name is Slate. Not having second thoughts, are you? Where are the launch codes again? Hornfels has a launch code, should be up at the observatory, like usual. I'm starting to think they live there. How's the ship looking? Great. Hey, you might get a kick out of this. I repurposed the spare oxygen tank to be used as an extra combustion chamber. Is that safe? Probably. Okay. Yeah, what else should I do? Oh, and Gallison says they have the zero-G chamber set up if you want a refresher on making ship repairs in space. Not saying you have to, but help Gallison get off my back if you did. Alright, Slate. Interesting. Okay. Oh, this is what I need the launch codes for. Ooh. Oh, I'm also an alien. I have a very interesting stance. Man's a gunslinger. Okay. Oh, I can roast marshmallow? Put away. Move stick. Oh, this is nice. Eat. Oh, okay, that's lovely. I am loving this music so far. I'm a big fan of... Oh, that's unusual. The jump's a charge jump. I'm a big fan of acoustic, with anything with like a steel guitar. I'm also a really big fan of this kind of cartoony art style so far. It's kind of reminded me of Firewatch. Oh, fly model ship. Okay. Ooh, this thing is sensitive, huh? Can I just do whatever? That is a very bright sun. That is an incredibly bright sun. Are we that close, or is the sun just that large? Is there no limits on this? Can I just fly this thing up forever? Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Huh. Alright, that was neat. Oh, little guy. What's up? Micah? Hey, it's you. Slate said you're blasting off in your ship today. I'm really excited to see the launch. Aren't you gonna go into space, aren't you? You better not have changed your mind. Hey, I'm still going. I want to practice with a pro before I leave. I hear you and Slate beefed up the model rocket. Can I see it? Yeah, we recalibrated the controls and installed better thrusters. Want to give it a test drive? Slate says it's just like the real thing, only less likely to start a fire. Try to land on one of the geyser pools. Show me what you got. I'm assuming it's this thing, right? Oh. Can I correct you? Ooh, I can. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Oh, you can't leave it there? Alright, Mike, I did what you asked. What a landing. I guess that's why Slate lets you fly the real thing, huh? That's indeed. Yeah. So, I have a little bit of information about this game. I know it's a space exploration game. And I've been told, specifically, not to touch a certain thing involving a satellite. What's up, Orphi? Heyo, hatchling? Are we lizards? Oh, I guess we're reptiles, huh? I hear you're leaving us to seek adventure amongst the stars. When you return, let's you, me, and Gosen open up a bottle of the good stuff. The good stuff is less delicious sap wine and more daunting digestive challenge. An iron stomach is the mark of a true Harfin, my friend. Our hardy hunter-gatherer lifestyle stems from trial and error, by which I mean our ancestors survived eating a lot of bad things. So we just put anything into our mouth, huh? Are you brewing up some sap wine right now? Anything else you gotta say? Oh, the astronaut returns. Tell me, what can I do for you? What are you up to? I've just finished up sealing up another batch of sap wine for aging. I like to begin aging a batch on the day of a significant occasion, you know? Real brain fart there. That's why there's so many bottles labeled structural collapse and house fire. I mean, that's not ideal, but hey, whatever you like. Oh, you look like... What's up, old-timer? Rutile. Isn't that a rock? You're actually blasting off in that thing, huh? I'm told my odds of survival are statistically quite high. Yeah, the space program's certainly come a long way. I should probably thank you for causing fewer flash fires than predecessors. By the way, good luck with those retro rockets. They've mentioned that before. Is that going to be a problem? Huh. This is a nice little geyser. Why is this one closed off? Can I get in here? Ooh, I can. I don't think I was supposed to do that. Wait, am I drowning? Let's go to credits. It's permanent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my Outer Wilds playthrough. I appreciate you sticking with me on this incredible journey. So, this game is... Yeah, I've read this. Apparently, there's a bit of a horror element. And, I'm not terribly good with horror. It's not my biggest forte, to be honest. But I didn't know this game was permadeath. Oh, that's kind of a brutal concept for me. I'm very much, I have a bit of lemming blood in me. I tend to have very... Ooh, nice. Yeah, that planet's new. Didn't see that before. I wonder what that is. Oh, do I have to talk to everyone again? Ah, does it change the story if I don't talk to anyone? Alright, well, let's just skip through the dialogue for now. I do kind of like this charge to jump up mechanic. Also like being able to see my hands. Seem to have little scales? Space measles, could be? Who knows? What's up, Porphy? Yep, okay. Okay, so note to self, don't jump into big holes. I guess I should talk to you again? Huh, okay. So what's this? Outer Wild Adventures presents postcards from orbit. This projector is linked to our Sky Shutter satellite, which is currently orbiting Timber Hearth. That's Hearth. The satellite is equipped with 2 onboard cameras. See if you can take a snapshot of our village. Oh, forward snapshot? Reverse snapshot? So is that our village? Oh, what a lovely intro to a song. This pilot seat, used by pioneer and astronaut Feldspar, is all that remains of our inaugural flight into space. Although it's been argued such a distinction requires a breathtakingly liberal definition of flight, that day will nevertheless be always remembered as a landmark achievement in Harfian history. So they left with a rocket, came back with a chair? That's funny. What's this gizmo? Is this a telescope? Oh, it's got a little radio on it. Or is it like a laser gun? Oh, it's a little UFO. Can I like... No, I can't crouch. Oh, is this our logo? Oh, that's lovely. Oh, it's a campfire. That is a shuttle? Or is that just like a flash fire like that, this old timer was saying, Rutan. Is this our entire spacesuit? Do we have no need for other things like helmet? Or not helmet, but like body? Shoe? I guess we have shoes. There doesn't seem to be anything explosive. It's like a bigger model of the model ship, huh? And I think... Is this a jetpack with like RCS thrusters? Looks like it. Nice little water wheel. Oh, what's up, Marl? Well, it's launch day, huh? Al's gonna miss you. Speaking of launch day, I was thinking about it, and the platform those ships launch from is getting old. Isn't it about time you built a new, less flammable one? That does seem problematic. That big tree in the village would be the perfect choice. I wouldn't mind helping out the space program, just say the word. The current launch pad's fine. Nice try, you know that's the tree. The launch pad's flammable. I mean, I don't want to know what's up with this tree. What? No, I just think it's in the way and someone ought to chop it down, you know? Specifically, me. You think this has to do with the time I fell out of it and broke my arm? That's when we were hatchlings. Who would hold a grudge for that long? Are you looking at the tree? Is that the tree? Or is that the tree? Well, nice talking to you, Marl. Oh, nice. That's also a rock, right? Hello there, Space Cadet. I hear you're leaving the crater today. If you meet any of the other travelers up there, remind them to take proper care of their instruments, won't you? Tell me about the traveler's instruments. Oh sure, I made all of their instruments, you know? Let me see, there's Church's drums, Rybeck's banjo, and Grabro's flute. And Feldspar's harmonica, of course. Both Feldspar's been missing for a long time. Sometimes it feels just like yesterday they were playing their harmonica around the campfire. Anyway, you hear music in space, that'll be one of the space program's other travelers. If you feel like company, you can always pull out your signal scope and track them down. Signal scope, okay. Trouble is, every time a Harfian leaves for outer space, that's one less musician in our orchestra. We only pick astronauts from our orchestra? Where's the observatory? It's questions like that that make us worried about you going up into space on your own, you know? Fair point. The observatory is up the path behind the waterfall. There's a couple of signs marking the way, but really, you just keep going up and then hook a right when you get to the 0G cave. A 0G cave? That seems a bit more advanced than rockets and wooden signs and barrels. Huh. Man, it's going for day cycle really quick, huh? What's up, Tephra? What's up, Galena? Okay, so are these people named after minerals? Because they're slate, which is like a material that's used for tables. And galena, I think that's a metal that you can chew. I mean, it might be toxic, but I know it's soft enough to chew with your teeth. I could be misremembering things, and Tephra just sounds like a rock. And what's up, kids? Hello, astronaut. If it isn't my favorite troublemaker. We wanted to play hide and seek. What, Moraine? Okay, maybe scratch my theory because that sounds regular. Won't let us borrow the signal scope because it's really delicate and not supposed to be thrown around like that. Hey, can we use your signal scope? Can we? Can we please? We'll even let you be it. If I play with them, will they break my signal scope? Will that affect the story? Well, whatever, it's just some kids. Woohoo. Okay, here are the rules. Galena and me will hide with these radios, and you'll use your signal scope to find us. Last one to be found wins. Okay, close your eyes and start counting. Sure. Oh, that's funny. I'm not sure if you noticed there, but when they closed the eyes, they had like 2 vertical divisions. So they closed up on top and on bottom. And I think that's because we have 4 eyes. Or I could just be overthinking things, and that's a default transition. So what is this? Press Y. Zoom in. Zoom level. What does this do? Hide and seek? Huh. Oh, okay. It's one of the kids. I'm really loving this music. How do I get up there? I'm so sorry, Nice. I know you're just a lovely old lady, but you're in the way of hide and seek. Ooh. I don't think this is the way you're supposed to do it. But I am stubborn. You know what? Never mind, I'm not that stubborn. I don't think you're able to do it that way. Oh. Oh, I didn't even have to do that to Gneiss. I'm so sorry. Oh, now I just feel... Well, it's funny, so it's okay. Where is the signal scope? Why? Okay. Some solar panels. Oh hey, what's up, Galeni? You found me. Why are you whispering? Huh, okay. Wasn't there one more? No? Oh, that's just Galena. What about the other kid, Tefra? Oh, he's just hiding behind the waterfall? Little cowboy hat? What's up, Spinel? Fishing rhyme. Singing helps me pass the time. You're leaving the crater? Guess we'll all be a little busier without you around to lend a hand. That big water planet, giant seed, that's where I'd go. Why's that? One time, after the rest of the village had left to sleep and it was just the two of us sitting around the campfire, Gabbro told me about their first trip to Giant Steep. They landed their ship easily enough in the waves, but couldn't see too far down on account of how murky the water was, I guess. Too dark. Gabbro wants to see what lay beneath the surface, so they decided to travel deeper. They traveled down and down, but suddenly Gabbro couldn't go any further. Tell me more. Giant Steep has a current you can't go past through. I underestimated how boring this would be. Bye. I'll be polite. I will. I was just pausing dramatically. As though exercising a will of its own, the water was refusing to let Gabbro go any deeper. It held Gabbro back, almost as if it was trying to protect them from something. And then, in the terrible darkness, Gabbro saw it. The tentacle of some hideous beast. I mean, that's what Gabbro said anyway. Whatever it was, it freaked Gabbro out pretty good. Everybody wants to hear new stories at the village campfires, you know? Make sure you come bring some back with you. Alright, sure, no problem, Spinel. Alright, what's up, Tef? Come here. Oh, that's a loud waterfall. You got me, but I'm the last one. I win. Promise you'll play with me again once you get back in space, okay? You got it. Yeah, sure, no problem. You know what? Thanks to that waterfall, I have realized my headphones are on backwards. Thank you, waterfall. Yep, that's correct. Not sure I didn't notice that sooner. But hey, can be pretty dumb at times. Oh, that is... Is that a lava planet? Ooh, what? Oh, that's... Okay, so that's the... I think that's the instruments the Gnites mentioned. I didn't notice that earlier. So is there just on each... That's a cool looking planet too. So on each planet there's like a traveler and they each have their own unique instrument. It was a... I think they mentioned drums, banjo, harmonica, and then... I'm not sure what... Oh, and someone's whistling. I'm not sure what that kind of, like, is that a, like, Vuvuzuela? What's going on here? Huh? What's up? Arcos? Oops. You know the patch of ghost matter inside this vent? Nope. Gosselin said it used to be bigger when they were a hatchling, because ghost matter evaporates. It just takes a per long time to go away. I hope there's still ghost matter in the village when I'm a Grobot. Ghost matter's awesome. Ghost matter is super cool. It'll burn the heck out of you. You shouldn't be throwing rocks in there. You know ghost matter's how Tektite lost her foot, right? Whoa, really? That is so cool. Alright, Arcos. So, shouldn't go in there. Danger inside this fence is a pocket of ghost matter, a strange and dangerous substance that is invisible to the naked eye. The good news is that you can detect ghost matter with a camera. Moving through ghost matter is uniquely painful and will probably kill you. Don't complain to me if you hurt yourself moving around. Yeah, I can see like popping up. Oh, you're throwing rocks at it. We shouldn't be doing that, kid. What's this? This is a camera? This whole thing? Oh. Oh, that's cool. It's like a... Well, it's like a localized Aurora Borealis at this time of day. At this part of... I'm sorry, I don't remember the whole steamed hams dialogue. I know I'm probably playing this pretty slowly, but unfortunately I'm a pretty patient gamer, so I think you'll just all have to bear with me with that. What's up, Moraine? Oh, you're the kid the other kids were talking about. Hmm? Oh, hello, astronaut. This is good weather for your launch, right? That's lucky. Any good sounds from space today? There are. My signal scope is set to Outer Wilds Adventure frequency, so I'm listening to Traveler's music. Yeah, I think we're just talking about that. Last night I heard Rybek's banjo coming from Brittle Hollow. I hope that means they're safe. I can hear different planets too. It depends on what time of day or night it is, since different planets are in the sky at different times. Signal scopes are cool. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Whoa, that is... far. Oh, is that an asteroid? No, that's a comet. It's got like a trail. Is that a star? That one's big. Oh, is that a different, like a distant solar system? Oh, that's cool. Can we travel there? So that's Rybek, because you said that's a banjo. Any other planets in the sky? Aside from the sun? Just a deadly laser? No, okay. Is this a platforming challenge? I hope not. Oh no. I am going to die and lose so much progress. Many times, huh? Okay, this doesn't look like a platforming. Is there anything else you gotta say? Oh, you do? Haven't you been up in this tree a while? I'm concerned Marl will cut this tree down if no one's in it. So I don't want to leave it for too long. Mayor Rutile says Marl isn't supposed to cut it down, but I don't think they see eyes to eyes on this one. Ah, because we have 4 eyes. Wait, we have 2 eyes in real life. Why isn't it eyes to... Oh, you know what? Whatever. I'll still watch her launch, though. I'll have a good view from up here. Is Marl still looking at the tree? Where is he? Oh, there he is, standing in the shadow. Silently judging this tree, huh? It's a bit creepy. Marl, you should probably find some new hobbies. What's this? Okay, this the written system's pretty interesting. It's kind of like they design based off like lines and then like positioning of line length, perhaps? Is this translatable or is this just like chicken scratch? I saw smoke coming from Young Bark Crater up north and figured I should go check it out. You can use a scout launcher, just please don't break it while I'm gone. Tektite. That's also a rock, or perhaps a mineral. Okay, so I think they're named after rocks and minerals. Oh, it's another camera. Okay, I think this is just chicken scratch. East, know my runes. South, Quantum Grove Crater. Quantum Grove? Northwest, Geyser Mountains. Oh wow, that thing's passing close by us. Wasn't that the comet? Is that gonna hit us? I mean, no explosion yet. Huh, okay. North, Youngbark Crater. Interesting. Use scout launcher. Oh. Oh, does this shoot a satellite around the planet? Kind of like the Shutter satellite thing. Oh, that's cool. Oh, never mind, it lands. Okay. This was... smoke, so that's Youngmark Crater. Interesting. Are we a crater-based civilization? Because it also looks like we're living in a crater here. Which one was this? Was this Nomai Ruins? It's Nomai. Interesting. And this is... a crater with some trees in it. Alright. How do I get out? Get away. I mean, this thing's pretty cool. So this is like a launcher, huh? How does it work? Oh, is it compressed air? Yeah, looks like it. That's neat. Day seems to cycle really fast here. So that's like the didgeridoo, or whatever. That's the harmonica. Okay. Interesting. Oop, let me not slip. Observatory and Zero-G Cave. Hey, come say hi to your old flight coach before your launch. I got Zero-G training set up if you want a refresher. Go, son. Okay. Are you a kid? You seem pretty small. Oh, you're missing an eye. Hey, I thought I might see you before the big launch. Nerves getting the better of you? I'm a little nervous, yeah. Good. Everyone should be a bit nervous before going into space. I got cocky during my first flight and nearly put a new crater in the moon. Still, I was never as great as you. That's not what Slade says. Oh, you know better than to believe a word of that lunatic says about me. They're still sore I made them install a safety harness in the cockpit. Claimed it would throw the thrust-to-weight ratio. Slade seems like my kind of man. Honestly, one of these days I'm gonna throw off Slade's thrust-to-weight ratio. So listen, there's a satellite, which is definitely not a piece of broken mining equipment set down in the Zero-G cave in need of repairs. If you're looking for a little last-minute Zero-G practice, head down the lift and into the cave, or don't, so long as you're confident you can make ship repairs in space. One repaired satellite coming up. Cool, get to it, and try not to concuss yourself right before your first launch. Can we concuss ourselves in this? I might be the first player to have listened to that little bit of opening music so many times. Oh, this is going deep. Wait, why are there stars? What? Huh. Flashlight? Are these like ore? Is it like a tutorial cave to replicate space? Oh, that's beautiful. I really, that's real neat. I like that. Zero-G cave. Oh. Oh wow, gravity's really low. Huh? Oh, is it because we're closer to the core of the planet, therefore there's less planet pulling on us? If we go to the core of Earth, will there be zero gravity because you're being pulled on by all sides equally? Huh. How low are we then? Must be a small planet. Suit up. Oh, so we do have a body piece. That's less comedic then. Turn suit up and down first. Ooh. It's a bit weak, huh? Okay. Sorry for all the spinning. Oh, someone's just mining down here. What's up? Tough? That's also I think that's a rock. Actually, that is, I know that from Minecraft. Hey, nice of you to drop down. Guess where I'm going today? Oh no. No. No way. You want to run off into space, that's your business, but don't make me, think about it. You're scared of space? That's fair. Bad enough we got this weird cave down here. Alright. You don't like the cave, huh? Anything else you got to say? Just getting some Zero-G time in. So you're going in there, in the cave. What? No, I'm fine. Great and fine. You don't look fine, actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna drift around down there for a little while. Does he not like thinking about it? Just gonna float upside down and whatnot. Just, you know, ricochet off the walls, spin around a lot, that kind of thing. You're the worst. So my assumption is this poor man, has got stuck in the zero-G cave without, like, a propulsion system, so he was just kind of stuck there for a while. Wow, okay. Huh. Oh, it's another, camera and/or satellite launcher. Interesting. And they're hauling up barrels using a crane with a barrel as a, little... Ooh. Oh wow, gravity is getting much lower. Oh, it's gone. So are we at the center of the planet? Wow, we're on a small rock, huh? How do I... Okay, left, right. Roll, hold, and then... Okay. So what am I supposed to be doing? Oh, lock on? Hold to match... Oh! Oh, did this put me in... Did this match the orbital velocity of this thing? So if I go like this, and then... Oh wow, that's really nice. Oh my god, I wish I had that in Kerbal Space Program instead of having to manually do everything. Okay. Oh, I like how you can see that. Did we just duct tape metal pipes back together? I guess so. Interesting, okay. Oh, I'm kinda getting a bit dizzy. I might disorient myself with this game. Let's see. So then I go here. 1 out of 3 repaired. So there should be 2 out of 3. The flight of it doesn't like feel too bad though. Feels a lot more intuitive. Where's the last one? There's a different one? It's red and... Is it inside? What happens if I press space with... Oh, okay. Oh, it is just inside. Okay, that's nice. Alright. That wasn't too bad. Training simulation complete. Oh, can I just leave now? Oh, gravity 0.0x. Okay, I guess we don't have any gravity in here. That's interesting. So we have to be at the core of the planet then. Or, you know, perhaps I'm probably just overthinking things. This is probably just like a tutorial cave. Then we have a little gimbal indicator. Or is this... Now it still says 0.0x. Oh, now it says 0. Okay. So do I have to be touching? Interesting. Yeah, I think I have to be touching the ground for that to change. Alright, see you later, Tough, yeah. Don't get stuck down there, you hear? Interesting, alright. I do kind of just want to keep my flashlight off, because I do enjoy the cave like this. Alright. Oh, did they take away the suit? Am I not allowed to have it yet? Fair enough. Huh, let's see. Alright, what's up, Gosan? Oh, you talk to me automatically. Nicely done. Of course, it'll be a little more stressful when you're hurtling through space, but just remember your training and try not to hit anything big. I can see you're just itching to get off this rock, so go get the launch codes from the Observatory and get out of here already. Best of luck out there, and hey, try to avoid getting yourself killed now that I put so much time to train you. Got it? No? Sure, Gosson. I'll see you around. So else today again. That's smoke? Is that smoke coming from the moon, huh? Okay. You know what? I didn't even try going in any of the buildings. Can you? No. Okay. Thank God. That's lovely. All right. And this must be an observatory, huh? Alright, interesting. Outer Wilds Ventures founding members, clockwise from top left, Hornfels, Gosson, Slate, and Feldspar. I think Feldspar's all, yeah, so I'm just gonna assume my theory of them being named after minerals is correct. What about, isn't there 5 names up here? Hornfels, Gosson, Slate. Oh! Okay, so this guy must be Esker, because he's like taking the picture, and he's like the shadow. It's a bit sad to be left out like that, huh? Read. Big thanks to these additional founding members of Outer Wilds Ventures, without whom we would never have gotten off the ground. Matthew Steinhauser, Ben Etherington, Wordy Yup the Pie, Jordan Frith, Tom Cummins. Sorry, Tom. Sean Shark Temper. Are these like Kickstarter backers? Was this game kickstarted? Steven Ursel. Ryan Ombra. Isn't that a YouTuber? Huh. I'm just gonna assume those are Kickstarter backers. Outer Wilds Ventures, Timber Hearth's first and only space program, was founded to explore the farthest reaches of our solar system. Feldspar was the first Hearthian to be intentionally launched into space. They completed the first orbit around Timber Hearth and later made first of what would be many landings on our moon, the Attlerock. How do you get unintentionally launched into space? These guys are really like reminding me of Kerboils from Kerbal. I know I keep making a comparison, but like they're just lackadaisical nature, kind of about spaceflight. It's really giving me KSP vibes. Alright, what's up, Hal? Hey, it's my favorite astronaut. Launch day at last, huh, buddy? It's the translator tool's inaugural flight, too. I'm so excited, it's making me nauseous. Just think, you'll be able to translate any Nomai text you want, anywhere you are. The two of us put a lot of hours into inventing that tool, so don't break it. Haha. Oh, jeez. Do not break it. Ignore me, okay? I'm just nervous. And I'm not even the one going into space. How are you feeling? I'm excited. I'm pretty hyped. Like, I've been digging the vibe of this game. Good. You've only been waiting for this day since we were hatchlings. I can't wait to see all your training pay off. So what's the dirt? You here to see the new Nomai statue? Of course. Huh. I knew you'd want to see it there right before you headed off. Hornfels just finished prepping it for display today. Amazing, isn't it? It makes me wish we could see what our real live Nomai looks like. But I guess this is as close as we'll ever get. Check it out. Looks like they have fur. Fur's weird. This is the first fully intact statue ever found, you know? And for how old it is, it's in great shape. Ah, jeez, I got a little carried away there. Go on, you have a ship to launch. Take care of yourself out there, you hear? Are these a separate alien race? This remarkably intact statue was carved by the Nomai, an ancient species who dwelled in our solar system thousands of years ago. The statue provides us with our most detailed look yet at the Nomai, who appear to have been covered with a layer of fur. Note the decorative jewelry that's been carved as part of the antlers. Although their artifacts and structures have been found on almost every planet in the solar system, We have no idea where the species came from or what happened to them. Okay, interesting. So we're just exploring, and there's like an ancient civilization here before us. They were like, well, first of all, they got some serious case of gamer neck. In fact, that just reminded me to fix my own posture. But they're kind of like goat. They look like goat. And I guess fur is weird because we're reptilian, so it's an alien concept to us, huh? Alright, cool. What's all this? New exhibit. The radio tower on Timberharp was built to receive transmissions from our deep state satellite, and to this day, still houses the first ever photos taken of the entire solar system. These photos were made possible by the deep space satellite's unusual vertical orbit that it carries above and below the plane of the solar system. Thanks to a recent upgrade, the deep space satellite is now responsible for generating the real-time solar system map used by the nearest astronauts. Okay, so I've been informed by a friend before playing this game. Asides, I've been told a couple of things. One of them was to not look anything up. In fact, I was even instructed to not even look at the store page. I was gifted this game. They told me once I got to the Observatory, completely ignore the radio and the satellite until you finish the game for the first time because it is DLC content. So I'll be doing that. I'll be taking their advice on this. But we'll see what's on that about. Okay. Some balls. Watch closely. These balls move on their own. Do they? The ground is perfectly level, so what do you think causes this spooky motion? The answer is the moon. As it orbits our planet, the Attlerock's gravity pulls on objects from different directions. In fact, it's pulling on you right now. Oh, is this... Oh, yeah, it's moving now. Is this supposed to be... So, is the moon passing over us? Or had the moon switched to the right side, so therefore tide has changed? If I jump... Oh my god, that's actually a sick detail. Okay, so because the moon's on this side of a planet, I assume, we're getting pulled to the right by its gravitational pull. That's incredible. Okay, that's a sick detail. I love that. Huh. This part of the exhibit? What's this? The strange rock moving around this grotto appears to react to conscious observation. Huh? The level-headed among us realize there must be some sort of optical illusion at play, but Gabriel claims the rock exists in all possible states until it is observed. Whatever that means. Whatever is actually happening, both sides of this debate agree the effect is extremely creepy. What? Wait. Oh, that's cool. So it's like a, it's a quantum rock. It's like Schrodinger's, wait, no. Schrodinger, well, actually, yeah, it's relatable. So it exists in 3 states, but it doesn't exist until we observe one of the states. Or it's not, it exists in all 3 states simultaneously, but it like gets forced into a singular entity once it gets observed. Huh. Okay, that's a lot more metaphysical than I thought this game would be. But hey, whatever. Stars like our sun generate light and heat by fusing hydrogen into helium. As it grows older, the star runs out of hydrogen and starts to contract. Yep. As the star Star's core contracts, it gets hotter, causing the outer layers to expand. The star has become a red giant. When the core is hot enough, it starts to fuse helium into carbon. If a star is massive enough, it will continue to fuse carbon into even heavier elements like iron. Ultimately, the star will collapse under its own gravity and then explode into a violent event called a supernova. Based on church observations, this will one day be the fate of our own sun. Yeah, once it reaches iron, iron can't be fused, so it's kind of just sitting there as dead fuel, and then the gravity of the star increases, so it explodes, or just turns into like a little dwarf. Did we see this? I don't think so. Oh, is this a different planet? That's nice, it's got like a desert planet. Is this like, a Nomai ship? It's kind of like a rainbow gradient, that's pretty cool. This crystal was taken from a Nomai rune on Brittle Hollow. It seems to create a local gravity distortion and was most likely used to traverse steep surfaces? Try it out. What do you mean? Huh? Oh. Oh, that is... That's really cool. How big is the effect of this? It is local, huh? What happens if you jump? You get pulled out of its... That's really cool. So is there gonna be like wall running and stuff in this? How do they simulate this? God, that's real trippy, huh? That's cool. Is this the same thing? Yeah. We've read this. Anglerfish? With tendrils? I'm not a big fan of that, I'm not gonna lie. This anglerfish specimen was found attached to the landing gear of one of our ships that flew close to Dark Bramble. It appears well suited to living in dark places with minimal atmosphere. Dark Bramble, huh? I really don't like the look of that thing. Because if there's permadeath in this, I don't really want to die to a fish. That, and I'm really not good with 4 elements, like... I didn't get easily spooked, but it's like, it just like physically hurts. The Nomai technology brought back from space by our astronauts has been a great boon to Outer Wilds ventures, allowing us to modify expedition gear in new and exciting and useful ways. For example, the Little Scout now boasts a warp retrieval capability that allows astronauts to recall their scouts almost immediately. This has dramatically reduced the number of scouts lost to the depths of space. How many people have died in the space program? Is that one of their skeletons? Did they put them on display? No, that's only got 3 eyes. What you see here are parts of the Nomai skeleton. We can tell from their skulls that they possessed antlers and quite unusually, only 3 eyes. Wow, imagine only having 3 eyes. Couldn't be me. The Nomai body was most likely adapted for living exclusively on land. The differences in Nomai anatomy, such as their shockingly fragile bone structure, why is that funny? Show us that Harfians couldn't have descended from Nomaian ancestors. It's not clear where the Nomai originated from, or why they disappeared. We hope to find clues to this puzzle as we explore our solar system. Huh. Okay, is that like our goal? Do we have to find out why they died? Oh, is this a baby cradle? Is this like a Nomai baby? Aside from the dwellings and structures they built, the Nomai also made art. This decorated pottery, I was wrong, was discovered on Brittle Hollow. Some ancient Nomai art depicts strange animals, foreign celestial objects, and other subjects that can't be found in our solar system, which makes us wonder whether the Nomai originated elsewhere in the universe, or they simply had vibrant imaginations. Were the Nomai born in our solar system? Or were they born amongst other stars and planets? And if they were, how and why did they come here? These are just some of the questions we hope to answer through thorough xenoarchaeological expeditions. Now that's a fucking 6-point word. What's this? Oh? This is our translator tool, huh? Untranslated Nomai writing. Cassava. Cassava? We're nearly ready. Lurks and I have finished construction, and she says calibrating the device won't take long. Fortunately, the Attlerock's lack of atmosphere will make calibration simple. After all this time, I'm thrilled to finally resume our search. Why can't I translate? Oh, that's a symbol. So it's like Nomai writing? They draw on spirals, which is interesting. So, like, is each spiral a sentence? Huh, that's neat. This piece of Nomai writing was essential to deciphering their unique language. Although this text is linear, Nomai text often branches off from a central point. Interestingly, each branch tends to be written by a different author. So does it, like, would it branch here? Because that's a really cool concept if so. I mean, that's probably the most nerdy thing I've ever said, but yeah, that type of stuff is, like, linguistic differences are pretty interesting. Is that everything in here? I mean, there's the satellite, but I won't be touching that for quite a while. Okay, what's up here? Hornfells? This is where we get the launch codes, huh? View map. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Okay. This map is a lot more interesting. Okay. Close map, pan view, rotate view, zoom. Okay, so starting from the center, we have the Hourglass Twins, Timber Hearth, that's our planet, and what I assume is the Attlerock. Brittle Hollow. Oh, Hollow's that's not a volcanic planet, that's the moon. So it's shooting out stuff, huh? That's interesting. Giant's Deep, which appears to be a gas giant. And it has... what's that? It's got like little bits and bombs floating around. Interesting. That's the thing we say. Wasn't this intact once we first woke up? Huh, that's neat. And there is Dark Bramble. It's like a tree. It's kind of like a root system. Interesting. Well, it's a bramble. And then, what is this thing? Huh? I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at there, so I'm just gonna ignore that for now. Oh, there's, oh, it's this thing. We saw this. So it's Brittle Hollow's moon. Okay. Can we use this? No? Hornfell's observations. This is incredible. At first I thought the points of lights in this image were stars, but they're not. They're galaxies. And this image just covers a tiny patch of the whole sky, which means the universe contains 1,000 times more galaxies than we previously imagined. I think I need to sit down. This is odd. According to my redshift calculations, every single galaxy in this image is moving away from us. In fact, the farther a galaxy is, the faster it appears to be moving away. It's almost as if the entire universe is expanding. But if that's true, was everything closer in the past? And how far can we extrapolate? Did the universe have a beginning? Is this, like... when the Hubble telescope first launched, they did like an image of a tiny, just a dark square in the sky, and they had like an exposed image for a long time, and they called it like the deep field image. Is this that image? Because that image proved a whole bunch of stuff about the universe we didn't know about. Huh. That's cool. Yeah, what's up, Hornfells? Oh my god. Man turned on me quick. There you are. I just finished pre-flight observations and local conditions are good. Time to get our newest astronaut off the ground. And you'll be our first astronaut ever equipped with a Nomai translator tool. I confess, I've been giddy all day thinking about it. We're better equipped than ever to unravel the mysteries of Nomai. You and Hal should be very proud of your work. Tell me, what's your plan once in your space? That's too many options. I don't know. Haha, overwhelmed by the options perhaps. I don't blame you. If you need help getting started, you could go visit Esker on the moon. They're alone on the Attlerock most of the time, so I'm sure they would appreciate it. Plus, we don't know what the ancient Nomai runes on the moon are or why they were built. Perhaps you can put your new translator tool through its paces. Well then, looks like all that's left is to send you off. All in all, it's a fine day for launch. I'm ready to die in space. I'm not one for superstition, but isn't that kind of unlucky to say before I launch? At any rate, here are the launch codes. Try not to worry too much. Our ships are as every bit as safe as Slate can be persuaded to make them. Best of luck out there. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Launch codes... dash 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 dot dot dash dot. Do I have to write this down? Okay, let me write this down real quick. Dash dash... separator dash dot dot dash dash dot. Okay. I have a terrible memory for these types of things, so I like to, you know, write them down. So did I just go back to the slate? Okay. Hello there? What? So I just replayed everything I just did? Is this a save point? Because that's a really cool save point if I've ever seen one. Huh. Should I? Whatever. Interesting, okay. Where'd the other guy go? Oh, speaking of which. Hey, so did you get a look at the Nomai statue? The statue was glowing. Why was it glowing? Whoa, the statue was doing what? So its eyes open, and then you saw images from your own memories and glowing lights flying around. You mean, like, a hallucination? Listen, no offense, but are you sure you're okay to launch, like, medically speaking? I mean, you can... You know, don't worry about it. Maybe you should sit down for a bit and take it easy. Hide for anything bad to happen if you try to launch while you're not feeling great. But hey, when you are ready, then you can make the most of our translator tool. I didn't have to do that. I can't believe it's all grown up and leaving for space already. For real though, I'm glad you're the one carrying it and not like Rybeck. They'd fall on it for sure. Say, if you want to do a short trip just to get your space legs under you, you could check out the ruins on Attlerock. I'd love to learn what those are. Good luck and safe flying. Okay, you really want me to go to the Attlerock? I'll take your advice. I mean, you could also just go look at the statue. It's right there. What are you even doing? You're like whittling? Why are you whittling a stick? Why did you put a handle on the stick? Are you making a wand? Are you a wizard? Do we have wizards in the society? I don't think we do. Still? That's a pretty precarious lantern. Interesting. Okay. So I guess we're ready for launch. Oh, what's this? Oh, no! We're okay. Everything's just fine. Fine and dandy. I'm not gonna last long if this is a permadeath game, I'll be honest. If that's really the case, we'll see Just tell me how to jump again. Did I miss anything? I mean, whatever. I can always go back. What's up, Slate? Looks like you're ready for takeoff. The excitement of a launch is fun and all, but I can't wait to get back to working on the new ship. We're working on fixing the autopilot's avoidance system for this one. Sorry. Alright, well, guess I'll roast the marshmallow before I head off. Oh. Oh, this one is considerably more crunchy than the previous one. Oh, so this is the ship. I thought it was just like a model. It's got like RCS thrusters on the side. Big satellite that's kind of dented. We're pretty like haphazard about certain things, huh? We have wood. Yeah. And just an electrical outlet, just a store-bought electrical outlet. Interesting. Is this like a tractor beam? It is. Huh, so this is a ship. Okay. What do we have? First aid. I'll be needing that. Oh, the suit. Fish. Brown. Is that sap wine? A bunch of marshmallows. Very important. I'm assuming these are oxygen tanks, or like fuel. Little Scout. See beyond the horizon, illuminate dark areas, detect hazards, and test the environment. I'm not sure quite... Do we have a Little Scout? Is it this? How do we use it? Okay. Some more moonshine. A bundle of firewood. That's one of those gravity crystals. Why do we have a gravity? What? What's the point of that? Is it like powering the ship? Or were you like... Ooh, planetary chart. The Hourglass Twins, Attlerock, Timber Hearth, Hallow's Lantern, Brittle Hollow, Giant's Deep. Oh, I guess it's that planet's the Giant's Deep's moon. The Interloper. I don't think I saw that on the map. Interesting. Okay, there's a view map. Oh, did that just pop in? I didn't see that before. Oh, it's a comet. Ooh, interesting. That's a nice touch. So this comet. So comets have two trails in real life. One trail is from like ionized radiation or something like that, and then it's like directly points away from the sun. And the other trail is like an ice vapor trail, which would go slightly perpendicular to its flight, and it's also based off the position of the sun. That's a really cool touch. Okay. I'm digging this game, okay. And computer. Ship log. Timber Hearth. The one and only Harfian village, as well as the main source of explosions on this planet. The moment Nomai statue in the observatory opened its eyes and looked at me. I saw strange glowing lights and my own memories flash before my eyes. Zero G cave at the very center of Timber Hearth. Okay, I was right. Used by the Outer Wilds Ventures to train new astronauts. I successfully repaired another satellite for Gossan. I hear there are Nomai ruins somewhere in the Attlerock. No one knows what they are or why they were built. The Nomai text in the observatory talks about calibrating some sort of device on the Attlerock. Okay. Rumor mode? Oh, is it the same thing? Sounds like Esker is still stationed on the Attlerock. They've been there... okay. Okay, so it's just a different view. Okay, I like that a bit more. Okay, so I guess... Oxygen refill, spot a tree, walk towards it, enjoy. Buckle up. Ooh. Is there like a special dialogue if I do this? I really want to push it, but I feel like this was just... You know what? Let's just launch the ship. How do I do this? Buckle up. Be patient. Lift off landing camera. Okay, let's go. Oh. Cool. Nice. Okay, do I have to like speed up to enter orbit? Am I in orbit now? Oh wow, I'm leaving the gravitational pull. Oh wait. So that's the moon. Okay, match velocity. Okay, wow, this is really cool. I'm not gonna lie, this is just, I'm just having a good time right now. There's a lot of galaxies. Engage autopilot. Oh, does this just take me there? Oh, that was a big chunk of the moon gone, huh? Okay, that wasn't too bad. So how do we land? C for landing mode. Okay. This ain't too tough. Let me like land in the center of this big crater. Oh, they do say lightning never strikes twice in the same place. What's the likelihood of a meteor falling directly on our ship? Okay, so we're on the moon. Or the Attlerock. Have my suit on? And... Huh. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. So I've been told this is just an exploration game. Some light here. Oh, there's a thing. So when we're on a pickaxe to the moon? Is this like crystal? Refuel jetpack. Oh, these are fuel canisters, okay. Play recorded. Chert's research notes. Property of Chert. This is an old crater. The neat thing here is the composition of the samples I took from the impact site matches the composition of the ice on the outskirts of Dark Bramble. I posit the Attlerock was hit with a piece of the planet that used to be where Dark Bramble now lies. To follow up on, maybe there are more fragments of the old planet Dark Bramble destroyed on other astral bodies in the solar system? Let me read that again. So this is ice, and there used to be a planet where that, like, tree planet is, and then it was destroyed by the Bramble? Let me get a good look at that. Oh yeah, you can see, like, the ice. Oh, okay, so, like, it got hit with it and then destroyed a big chunk of the moon. Whoa, okay, being on such a tiny planet's really fucking my perception. Like, it feels like my mouse is drifting downwards, but I think that's just... It's interesting. Yeah, like, look at that. My, like, ship is already perpendicular to me, and I'm just going up a little thing. Is there anything I also missed in this big crater? Huh. Okay, well... I have to be mindful of my oxygen. Just kind of going around in the dark here. It's a lovely... I was thinking, why is Timber Hearth so bright, but it was just the sun behind it. I did also increase my gamma to an absurd amount, because I know aliasing is quite a big problem with darker games, and since this involves space, I decided to turn it up. Let me know if I should change that. Oh, that's the interloper. So we did see it before, we just didn't see it on the map before for some reason. Where'd it go? It's behind the plant, right? Yeah, there it is. Oh, because we're orbiting, it's spinning around my camera. It's been annoying. Trees? Smoke? In a house. An identified signal nearby? Trees detected? Are you telling me? 6 trees can support a man and a campfire on the moon. You don't even have a spacesuit on. Okay, what's up, Esker? Oh, hey, it's you. Ground control didn't tell me you were launching. Long time no see. Actually, I guess it's been a long time since I've seen anyone. Don't the other travelers come by? The lunar outpost saw more traffic back when our ships were less sophisticated and needed more frequent repairs. Nowadays, it's mostly used to keep a set of eyes on things. Sometimes Trit comes by to say hi, but Cabro's Cabro, and you know how Rybic feels about unnecessary spaceflight. Don't go. I mean, is there anything else you want to ask? Seems lonely up here. A little. I'm in touch with ground control, Hornfels and Gosson mostly, and they radioed up to chat now and then. And when ground control forgets I'm up here, and they usually do, I launch my little scout at the village. You spy on us? What? No, it's not spying, it's one-way communication that none of the villagers know about. I've never told them. This guy has been... Maybe you need to talk to some people, man. Was that you whistling? Probably, or actually, definitely. The other travelers carry instruments, so they don't bother whistling. You can pick up on their music with a signal scope, you know? The best spot for that is the North Pole. Great reception. I really like how the P and the L and pick and pole are lining up. Completely unrelated, but, you know. North Pole is marked in red on your minimap, but the Attlerock is a pretty small moon, really. Just go north, you can't miss it. What is this place? Ha ha, very funny. Or stars above. You're serious, aren't you? That's just depressing. Welcome to the Lunar Outpost. Which apparently the space program doesn't bother to teach anyone anymore. When we first started Outer Wilds, travelers used to bring their ships here all the time, for repairs. Our spacefaring technology has improved loads since then, but the older ships tended to, fall apart. Like, more than they do now. Using the outpost cut down the number of launches and landings taking place in the village, and also the number of fires. Nowadays, though, it's mostly just me up here, raising saplings from Timber Hearth and keeping an eye on things. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Okay, unidentified signal? Oh, it's just you. Why are you emanating the signal? Are you a radio? Shouldn't it be the radio? I'm not gonna question it. So you're just big chilling up here, real? Okay, I can dig that. So does jetpack feel? Alright, nothing else to say, huh? So North Pole is marked on the red in my minimap. I don't see... What's that? Is that a red thing? Whatever. Oh, they mean the left side. I see it, okay. Equip scout launcher? I should... Oh, it's this thing. And then... photo mode? Okay, that's cool. I hope those don't actually take, like, screenshots to my hard drive. I don't know how much video recording takes up, but... Whoa. That is a close or... What? Wait, what? I'm certain there was just a massive planet that just passed by us real quick. Huh? Oh, it's right there. Did that do an entire orbit? Wait, what? Is that a graphical error? Wait, what? Okay, if I look away at you. Is this like a quantum planet? Huh. That's really cool, but kind of unnerving. I don't know, it's like the weeping angels from Doctor Who. It's gonna suddenly show up behind me and just crash full body into me, huh? Let's see. Oh, this is the North Pole. Okay. Oh, I like this. The world stopped spinning. Or at least it feels like it. Esker's signal scope log. Day 48. Still not picking up Rybek's banjo from Biddle Hollow. I'm sure they're fine, but I'll feel better once I hear their music. Day 51. Listen to church play for a while today. Unrelated, somebody should tell Porphy and Gossin their flirting's not subtle from an aerial perspective. Maybe you should stop spying on them, Esker. You're kind of a little creep. Little creep, aren't you? Banjo music coming in loud and clear today. Sound like Rybek's doing okay. That oaf, I was worried. Day 63. Today, I thought I heard something strange. I don't know. It was probably nothing. No, it's back again today. 2. Something strange coming from Timberheart. Okay, I know this is crazy, but the sound from Timberheart sounded exactly like Feldspar's harmonica. But Feldspar's disappeared in space ages ago. It can't be that... It's still here. This is creepy. Maybe my signal scope is broken? I better talk to Gneiss. Huh, okay. Yeah, there it is. It wasn't the... Oh wow, that's really close too. You're not gonna like... Okay, you don't do that too, thank God. Huh, okay. Wasn't the... Wait. Are there 2 harmonica players? Also, I'm getting some frame drops here. I'm not sure what that's about. So did Feldspar like just put a radio in like Brittle Hollow? Or not Brittle Hollow, Dark Bramble, and then he's been like just chilling up on Timberheart this whole time? And he's just been fucking with people? Because that'd be pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, and there should be... What is that instrument? I mean, it's really chill, I like it, but like... Can't place it. Where's the banjo? Oh, that's the drums. Oh, 3 minutes of oxygen. I should, I wonder if you can get like all of these, if like there's a time where they can just all line up and then you can like get like a cool overlaid soundtrack thing. Why is the music so intense? Oh, wait, that's the thing we saw in the picture. Oh, there's a thing in the big mountain. I should probably explore Timberheart a bit, now that I think about it. Also, wow, my frame rate's dropping real hard right on the moon. What's going on? Ooh? What's this? It appears to be like a circular building with a hand. It's like a three-fingered hand. This is like a Nomai hand? Oh, it has a ball. What happens if I do this? Lines points at the sun? Okay, I hear noises. Oh, there's a weird planet. What'd I just do? I don't think I was supposed to do this. Can I... This is... That's a supernova. No? Why am I trying to run from a supernova? That doesn't make any sense. No permadeath. And everything I did. Huh. And I'm back at the very start. Okay, so I blew up the sun. I don't think I should have done the thing with the hand. That was not a great idea. But for now, I'll leave things here. Thanks for watching. The next episode should be up shortly. For the friends who have made me play this game, you at least better like it. I will kill you if you don't. Have a great day, everyone.